Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Cypher O Suzuki here, and today we'll be doing part 4 to What If Naruto Had the 10 Commandments. So, all I want to say is thank you for supporting me in my return back to YouTube, and I would like you all to go and subscribe to my friend Vice Miss YT. He's working on a massive DC project, and if you're all into DC and comic books and all that, you should go check him out. Now, without any further ado, cue the intro. Last time, we saw Deku defeat and kill Zabuza. Haku, I guess you could say reunite with Deku, not Deku, Naruto. And we find out that Tenzo and many other people hate Naruto. So, if you want to catch up in the series and you don't think these small little things at the start are good enough, the playlist will be linked in the description. Now, let's get into it. So, Haku is stood outside as, Naruto and the team talk to Tazunami. And while they're talking, Haku walks in and he's like, let's just, can we just get this over with and kill Gato? So Naruto's like, yeah, let's get going. Now, over this time, Gato, let's say, he hired, an Akatsuki member. He hires Hidan. Not Kakuzu, just Hidan. Because, this is say, before Hidan joins the Akatsuki, he does this. So, Hidan... So, yeah, Naruto and Haku go to, Gato's base. They go in, they greet Gato, and then he basically holds a sword up to his neck, saying to give back everything he stole from Wave Country. And, Gato's like, I'll do anything, and then I'll do anything, and then he gets a hard look in his eyes, and a serious look, and he's like, no. Hidan jumps out in the shadows, swinging his scythe. Now, at this point, Haku is cut in half. Naruto is enraged by this, but, doesn't let it happen. He just walks towards Hidan. Now, Hidan doesn't really see Naruto as a threat, because he's just doesn't. So he turns around. Fatal mistake. The curse of, I think it is betrayal, enacts itself on, Hidan. And Hidan turns to stone. Now, of course, he's not dead. No, not by any means. But he is encapsulated in stone. So what I'm going to say is, because of his immortality, he'll basically be able to break himself out of that stone within a couple of, about a month. So, enough time for him to join the Akatsuki after that. Because, he's a major part of the Akatsuki, and he's actually really good plot development for Kakashi. And since, Kakashi's not on this team right now, there's no reason to develop him any further. At least not right now. But, let's continue. So, Haku and Naruto head back to Tazunami's house after killing Gato and stealing all his money. They give half the money back to Wave, and they take enough money for an S rank mission because of Hidan being there, and he's an S rank ninja. And they leave. So everyone gets an equivalent pay of a full S rank mission each. as gratitude from the, wave country, including Haku. Now Haku's dead, sorry. I'm very insensitive about these topics. Yeah, so Naruto... Wait, I need to check who was on this team again. Okay, I'm back. So I just checked who's on the team. So it is Shikamaru and Hinata. So everyone gets paid the equivalent of an S-rank mission each. And they head back to Leaf Village. As they're heading back, Tenzo asks Naruto, what was that jutsu he used? And Naruto just hums and says, what do you mean? And he says, the one you used to make sure Zabuza couldn't attack you. And Naruto just says, that's a Kekkei Genkai. Because he's been told by the commandments inside him to, call it a Kekkei Genkai. Because he doesn't want people finding out that, he's the leader of the 10 commandments. The 10 demon commandments. And let's say there's, legends about them around the way, but no one knows about them, Just only, it's an old Uzumaki legend, but no one really knows it in Leaf Village. Now, as Naruto arrives back in the village, as well as everyone else, they go to the Hokage's office. When they arrive there, they see Sasuke's team yet again. So when Sasuke's team sees them walk in, he's like, how'd your stupid C rank go? We had one as well. They're obviously thinking their C rank was harder. And Tenzo walks forward and says, C rank escalated to S rank. Now at this, Sasuke just, Sasuke's smug look gets wiped away for a look of jealousy, pure jealousy and rage. He's like, why did this dope get to do an S rank mission and I had to stay here in the village and do a stupid C rank? Now, at this, Hokage says, you asked for a C rank mission and you got one, Sasuke. So Sasuke kind of shuts up because he can see that the Hokage's being dead serious. He says, what happened? So Tenzo goes through everything, explaining how Naruto basically defeated an A rank nin and a S rank nin in combat, as well as, basically being Wave Country from Gato, almost single-handedly. The Hokage is impressed about this and says that Naruto asks if Tenzo's gonna, recommend his team for the tuning exams. Now, he whispers this, but Naruto's the only one who hears it. Naruto's the only one who hears it, okay? Naruto's the only one who hears it. So, yeah. Naruto then, heads out. Sorry. By the way, I recently got a message in my comment section saying that I keep stuttering so much, and it's not my fault. It's just I have a stuttering problem where if I can't think of something, I start stuttering over my words, and I can't really handle it. So sorry about that. If you have a problem with it, I guess you can leave or you can stay. But yeah. So let's get going again. So after a week rest of the mission, Tenzo calls him to the bridge and says he's kind of late, but this is the first time he's ever been late, so it's fine. So when he arrives, he says to his team, okay, team, we are going to be doing I said, okay, team, I signed you up for the tuning exams. Now, Naruto's stoic as ever. Hinata's, gives a small, cheer, and Shikamaru's like, what a drag. Naruto just sits there staring, okay, good for you. What do you expect us to do? And Tenzo hands him all a form. Because Naruto basically, silently asked him what he wanted them to do. And when that was, Tenzo handed it the form, he says they've got a month to prepare and to get their form back. They must meet at the academy, and that is it. So let's say about a week later. I know I'm shifting the events a bit, but this is just gonna, work a bit better my way. So, this is the meeting of Gaara. So, Naruto's walking around the village, and he sees Konohamaru, and we'll say Konohamaru's running around randomly, he annoys Sakura as normal, because, let's just say he bumps into her and calls her ugly. And then she chases him into Kankuro. And Well, when they arrive at Kankuro, he does what he does in canon, picking up Konohamaru. So, that struggle happens. Temari's still like, stop. What if he comes back, like emphasizing the he. So Naruto gets interested. So he walks up and he gut punches Kankuro. And then, Konohamaru I'll say he heard stories from the villagers about Naruto. And he says, demon, and sprints off. Because everyone in the village thinks he's a demon. Like I'll say the third kind of doesn't, but he still has a bit of resentment to the words like Kyuubi inside of Naruto for like killing his wife and Buaki. So yeah. But everyone else like overly hates him except for Kakashi and the Hokage. Not even Iruka like kind of cared. Like he'll teach him because he doesn't let his personal feelings about a student overcome him being a teacher, but he won't show any kind of enjoyment of being around him or any joy in teaching him. So later, well no, not later. So Kankuro drops Konohamaru and Konohamaru's like, oh, demon, and like hides behind Kankuro because at this point he sees Kankuro as a bit of a wall to hide. Now at this point, Temari's frozen because this is basically what everyone calls Gaara in their village. And Naruto being called it in a different village kind of freaks her out because that means that there's someone like Gaara. Naruto is kind of annoyed and irked by this as his darkness flares around him. He's like, I'm not a demon, brat. And this Konohamaru like sprints off shouting, the big demon's gonna hurt me. And Naruto's just like, ugh, stupid brat. I'll get him one day. Now, who is he? Says Naruto, like basically says, pointing at the tree. Sorry, I paused for a second. That's what I think. What I was saying. Naruto points at the tree, saying, "Who is he?" And sorry, I make Naruto sound like an edgelord there, but he's just trying to scare, Kankuro and Temari into telling him what he needs to know. He's like, that's our brother Gaara. As Gaara jumps down and says, "You're weak." Naruto stares into Gaara's eyes. Black, lifeless eyes staring into cyan, lifeless eyes. Both of them stare for a while before Shikaku's cloak floats around, Gaara and covers him. As Gaara starts to back away slowly and says, "Oh, what are you? Mother's scared." And Naruto says, "Oh, so Mother's scared of the 10 Commandments, huh?" At this, the cloak completely engulfs Gaara, teleporting him away. So, Temari and Kankuro are freaked out. They're freaked the fuck out. Someone who could scare Gaara off, they don't know what to think now. They don't even know if this invasion's a good idea anymore. But they walk away. As they're walking away, then let's time skip to the Chunin exams day. So Naruto, Shikamaru, and Hinata walk into the academy where they basically hand in their forms, and they don't fall for the weak genjutsu because Hinata's got the Byakugan and Shikamaru's smart, and Naruto just doesn't get affected by them because of his demon, basically being a demon. They all go upstairs to the examination room, ignoring Tenzo, who tries to give him a pep, or give Shikamaru and Hinata a pep talk, but kind of ignores Naruto. But they walk in, which they encounter Kabuto. Kabuto's like, oh, you need to, everyone's already there, of course. So the same thing happens again, and Kabuto says, oh, you should be quiet. There's a lot of people who are here, they could hurt you badly. And, everything happens like that. But this time, Sasuke asks for a different piece of information. He says, I want information on Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto's eyes kind of shift to look at Sasuke as Kabuto reads out a form. Naruto Uzumaki N. Everyone's like, what's the N stand for? He is... okay. Naruto Uzumaki N. Genin of the Hidden Leaf Village. Completed 347 D rank, 2 C rank, 4 E rank, and 1 S rank mission. Now this, everyone's like gawking. And then he says, without a scratch. Which, you know, this freaks everyone in the room out, like, except for Hinata and Shikamaru, who already knew this. And they kind of thought this was a good thing, because now everyone's going to, like, kind of stay away from them. As this happens, you know, Naruto just walks up to Kabuto, snatches the card out of his hand, and says, Hail Flame, enchant. And they burn. They just burn. So Kabuto is kind of like, why would you do that? Why'd you burn my cards? And Naruto's like, that was classified information that the Leaf Village has. Only the torture and interrogation departments has that. Now, of course, Ibiki, who's watching the sidelines, is impressed. He's like, wow, this kid knows his shit. He's like, wait, how does this kid know his shit? But kind of brushes it to the side as ninjas being a ninja and gathering information. So, you know, Ibiku comes out and he says, okay, you maggots, sit down. Now, the test goes to canon. Naruto doesn't give a speech, so a lot more people forfeit. And Naruto does a lot better. Well, actually, no, he just sits there and doesn't do anything, staring at a wall, because he already knew the point of this test. So, yeah, he doesn't give a speech, but he already has, like, his team already knows what this is, so they all sit through it. Then, forced to death, basically nothing interesting happens. Like, they just get their scroll and leave. The preliminary rounds is Naruto versus Kiba, Hinata versus Neji, and Shikamaru versus no one, because Shikamaru had an extra match that no one else had. So, yeah. Naruto... So we'll go into the Naruto versus Kiba fight. So Kiba's all, when that match is called, Kiba's like, yes, I got the dead last, because, you know, Naruto's teachers kind of gave him the dead last scores, because that's just how they are. When they gave Naruto these scores, sorry about that. Okay, so when they gave Naruto these scores, they hated him. So, you know, of course, they gave him more scores. Not Aruka, but like every other teacher. Then, well, what happens is Kiba's like, oh yes, I get to fight the dead last. I'm gonna easily beat this. This is just a win in the bag. Like, Naruto just looks at him like, are you serious? Like, everyone else in the room's either glaring at him or looking at him in fear. And Kiba's just like being extremely cocky. So when Kiba goes down, he kinda stares at them. Naruto and Kiba stare at each other for a while. And they stop staring at each other whenever Genya, the proctor of the matches, says Jaime, which is, you know, start in Japanese. I think that's at least how you pronounce it. I know it's spelled Hajime or something. But yeah. So they basically tell him to start. So instead of the whole hubaloo that happens in canon, Naruto just stands there. Kiba and Naruto stare off for a second before Kiba sprints at Naruto. Naruto then just sidesteps as he goes flying past him. Naruto grabs, you know, Akamaru and knocks him out with a swift chop because, you know, Naruto's not going to hurt that dog. As much as I don't really like dogs, but, you know, he's not going to hurt the dog. Because, you know, they're animals still and I don't want them hurt, but other than that. So Kiba gets up and he sprints at full speed at Naruto like, I'm going to make you pay for hurting Akamaru. So, you know, that happens. But Naruto just, you know, appears behind him and chops him in the neck, causing him to fall unconscious. Hinata and Neji's match goes the same as canon. Well, Shikamaru, since he doesn't have a match, goes the same as canon. Now, that is the end of the video. The next video I'll be covering the In the next video, I'll be covering the month training and the final round of the tuning exams. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Please hit that subscribe button so we can get to 1,000 subscribers. And goodbye.